speak to your boss to bring me in. I don't want any money. I'll pay for my own transport coming to land.
Which one from those 20 plus certifications that you think it gave you a salary jump?
That should tell you that I also ran away from maths. I did maths literacy, for instance. So my maths was never good at all.
Joshua, if someone is broke and they want to learn cloud, what's the cheapest way of navigating? And the last time I checked, it was free, right? Is it still free?
Yes, yeah. No one is selling anything there. So every content that we share there is free.
Let's leave it there. It means the money is good. Guys, just think about it. If you can leave the blue bank, it means wherever you're going, the money is good. Hey guys, welcome to Tea with the Village. My name is Bonnie. I create content around careers, education, with a dose of reality check. Today we have Joshua, who is a cloud consultant with over 8 years of work experience. So we're going to say 8 years of industry experience because he has done different roles such as systems administration, virtualization, architecturing, network and security, and he holds a national diploma in information technology and tons of certifications. Let's welcome Joshua to the village. Hi, Joshua. How are you? Welcome to the village.
Hi, Bonnie. How are you? I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. You currently work as a cloud consultant, right? And at your previous job, you were a cloud engineer. Can you tell us what's the difference between the two?
Okay. So a cloud engineer, you can define that person as the person who's always doing the engineering work, for instance, the person who gets the job done. I mean, building servers in the cloud, operating them, and those kind of things, writing code, implementing what has been defined by a cloud consultant or cloud solutions architect, if you can put it that way. So you can define a cloud consultant as equal to a cloud solutions architect. So they define what is required. They put together a solution, for instance, that can operate in the cloud and those type of things. Then from there, whatever that is defined from an advisory perspective is then put together as a solution and then handed over to cloud engineers to go and implement, for instance, in the cloud. So that's what you can attribute a cloud engineer and a cloud consultant, for instance. So you come from an advisory perspective and you put together a solution that would essentially be then implemented by cloud engineers. Yeah.
Okay, so it's safe to say that a cloud consultant will come with experience. It needs to be someone who's got experience with the cloud. Okay, cool. How did you get your first job, like your first opportunity as an IT support technician? And which year was this? Was it in 2013, 14?
Yeah, so it was in 2012, right? So it's funny about it because these nowadays, a lot of newcomers into the industry, they don't value what is essentially happening. Back then, remember, the companies required experience, right? So it was not so easy to get experience at that time. So when I finished school, I actually wanted, my wish was to carry on with my studies at varsity and so on. And then when I asked my mom, she mentioned no, she doesn't have enough money to pay for my school fees anymore. So I need to go find a job, for instance. So I actually went home and stayed I think a month or two. And then one of my friends mentioned that they were doing an in-service training, for instance, at some company in Edenvale. That was Compute IT at that time, right? So from there, I then asked my friend to say, you know what, to be honest, I don't need to be paid because I know companies requires experience, right? So what you can do, essentially, you can speak to your boss to bring me in. I don't want any money. I'll pay for my own transport coming to land, for instance, because he mentioned that he couldn't pay me, right? And give me experience at the same time. So I had to sort of like juggle my way out to speak to my mom, at least to boost me with transport money to go to this place. I was so super interested because obviously once I got experience, I kind of knew that definitely I will get something along those lines. So that's how I actually got my first job. So I stayed there around 3 months. I was paying for my transport, and then I think after 3 months it changed a little bit, where the guy actually gave me like an allowance fee to come to the office, because I hadn't told him to say, you know what, my mom can't afford to pay for my transport anymore. So I think I've got experience now, at least 3 months. Makes sense. I can do stuff. I know a little bit of things. And now he used to send me to customers, for instance. The guy used to send me to customers. So what then happened was, I then told him that my mom can't afford it anymore. So I won't be able to pay for transportation coming here. So he gave me $500, right? Because things were never too expensive at that time, around 2012, right? So he gave me $500 a week for transportation and at least for something to eat. So I think I was spending around 250, close to about 300 rand just for traveling, because I was staying in the Nasal South. So I used to travel from there, getting on 2 taxis, the one to Joburg and then from Joburg to Edenvale, for instance, on a daily basis. So he used to then pay me for lunch and transportation, for instance. And that's how I actually gained my experience, right? And you would notice, yeah.
So Joshua, you went there, you said, you know what, I want to start, even if you don't pay me, right? Because you
Yes.
wanted your experience. And then you got 3 months. 3 months, you worked for 3 months, and then after 3 months, then basically need 500 rands, right? For transport and food.
Yes,
Wow.
that's correct.
Okay, it seems like every time, guys, the village would agree with me. When I interview people who are much older, who've been in the game for longer, you kind of like realize, wow, guys, things, they haven't been easy. Like, it's better now. The government is subsidizing these things, right?
Yes,
The government
that's
is
correct.
trying to help companies to give, in order to be able to give people experience. So the government is subsidizing. Back in the days, guys, the government was not subsidizing these things, right? You just had to do what Joshua was doing. Okay, Joshua, so you were getting 500 per week, right? Guys, not per month. And then, but you stayed for 3 years at this position.
Yes.
How was the salary progression?
Yeah. So remember, I was only getting 500 per week for transportation and this and food for that week. So what then happened, I had to tell the guy, because I was actually doing jobs now, running to customers, borrowing. He was giving me his own car to go to customers and so on, because I could drive at that time. I actually did my license around 2010, for instance. So he used to give me a car, and then I was so concerned to understand, why would this guy not be paying me a salary and just giving me, because now it's sort of like he was using me, for instance. And then eventually some other day I told him, no, this is my last day. I won't be coming here anymore, because my mom is worried I'm not getting a salary. I've been here for a long time now.
Sorry, what is long time? Was it a year or 6 months at that point?
It was around about 6 months to 7 months at that point.
Okay.
He then paid me on the spot. He gave me 5,000 rand. He said, going forward, this is what you're gonna be getting paid. I mean, at that time, because I didn't have nothing, right? So it was sort of like, at least now I'm gonna get my stuff moving as well. So that's how I ended up staying there. So eventually, each and every year, the money obviously increased from the in that year. It then went to 6,000, and then the following year it went to 7,000. Then the following year it went to 8, for instance. And then from there, that's when I started noticing, or one of my friends reached out to me and said, hey, there's these things that you need to do, like international certificates. And that's when I started being noticed out there.
So, Joshua, after 3 years at company number 1, where you got your first opportunity, then you moved to company number 2, where you got an opportunity to be a wireless network engineer. And then later, you moved to security engineer at the same company. So I'm assuming when you moved to wireless network engineer, you only had 3 years of work experience. Which certifications got you this job, the wireless network engineer?
Yeah, so the certificates that actually got me the job for a wireless engineer was CompTIA A plus and CompTIA Network Plus. When I joined the team, I then went and did also the CCNA Cisco certificate for networking. And during that time as well, I also then the company took us for training. We did MikroTik certificates because those were the devices that we were working with.
Mm. Oh, okay, fantastic. And then how long did you stay at the wireless network engineer position before you moved within the same company, before you moved to security?
Yeah, so I stayed there around about 1 year, 7 months before I moved from the wireless team because I knew networking. So the cloud team wanted a network and security engineer. So that's how I got the move to that team. So they were advertising internally, then I had to apply, and then they called me up for an interview, and then I interviewed with them, and then they asked me to move over within the same company.
Do you still remember how many certifications you have?
Certifications. Yeah, I've got a lot of certifications, and probably some of them expired now.
How many? You have 10, you have 15.
It's more than that. I mean, we can actually even count it to around almost 20, right?
Guys,
It's quite a lot.
these guys. Hey, yeah. Nina nihlala esikoleni basically. You are always learning something. You are always learning something. Which one from those 20 plus certifications that you think it gave you a salary jump?
Yeah, anyone that is cloud, but specifically the solutions architect one that I did when I was with the cloud team in that year. That was around 2018. That's when I started doing my first one. I mean, funny it was that how it all started. I was not really interested into doing cloud at that time because I was busy doing network and security, for instance, right? But the company that I was working for wanted to move into cloud because it was booming overseas, for instance. So no one really understood it here locally. Maybe there were companies that were understanding it, but it was booming overseas. So what they did was they actually pushed us to, they paid for the education and they paid for the certifications and they even paid for us to go I mean, to motivate us, for instance, to pass these certificates. And that's the one that essentially kicked off everything. I actually did that one, which was not even the entry level one for cloud.
Yeah, ne? Okay. And then
Yes.
after that, I see you've worked for a company that is a cloud security company. That's where you were a cloud solutions architect. Tell us about that opportunity. How was it? I see you did a lot of consulting work. I think you got a lot of experience from this. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, from the network and security environment, in fact, that was within the same company where I shifted position in the cloud space, right? So because I was doing so much around working for clients and so on, so I then got the opportunity to be shifted to another position, which was the cloud solutions architect at that time, right? So I used to architect solutions for customers, building cloud networks, for instance, and migrating workloads from on-prem to cloud, for instance. So that's the shift, and that I got when I was still working as part of that cloud team, because I knew a lot from a networking perspective and from a security perspective. So whatever we had from an on-prem perspective, I had to build in the cloud, as an example.
Mm. Which school did you go to, and how was your math? I have to ask. You are getting the
So
big
to
bucks
be
now,
honest,
Joshua. You are getting the big
yes.
bucks. We're going there. I see here you've worked for 2 companies that I've listed. I don't know if you've seen those videos where I talk about the best companies to work for, these companies they pay well. Anyway, now you've worked for 2 of those companies. So we are going there. So I want to ask,
Yes.
it's very important to understand how was your math. We want to know. We want
I
to
can
know.
I can truthfully tell you, like I mentioned in the beginning, my school days, what I did at school was I did commerce and I
Right.
ran away from accounting, by the way. That should tell you that I also ran away from maths. I did maths literacy, for instance. So my maths was never good at all. But yeah, eventually here I am.
Okay. That's good to know. Guys, please don't forget to like and share this video and leave any questions you might have for Joshua here, Joshua Koza. Or even Jay, no, this one doesn't need words of encouragement. I think he needs a lot of compliments, actually. So just leave them in the comment section. So here we are, Matt leads. But he's getting the big bucks, Shem. I'm telling you, which school did you go to?
So yeah, no, the school that I went to, I mean, from uh, from high school it was tech. They call it tech, Enadale Tech. And then from there I went to PC Training and Business College, now known as Richfield. It was rebranded to Richfield. Yeah, so those are the 2 schools that I went to. And then the rest of the stuff that I have now was we can call it self-taught.
No, man, you have instructors, it's not self-taught. But anyway, it's always good to see. I won't lie, guys, not that we think people who did maths leads, they can't be successful. Oh, no ways. Like there is no way. But it's always nice. I like reassuring people, right? So this is why I like asking this question, because I like to reassure people. And sometimes, it's not even about your capabilities. It's just where you are. Puberty is something else. And then you find that if you can
Yes.
go back and do math now, you'll be like, hey, boy, what was I running away from?
Yes, that's true, by the way. I actually eventually understood it at a later stage to say, what was I running away from doing math? Because even some of the guys that knew me, they thought I was too smart, so I would be able to do maths, for instance. But like I said, how I chose my subjects, I was following friends, and because I liked this computer, I didn't really focus on any other thing as well.
Good. Joshua, if someone is broke and they want to learn cloud, what is a cheaper way? I know, yes, you can access things for free. You can let us know about that as well. But also, what's the cheapest way of navigating?
So, yeah, one of the things that I've noticed recently, gone are the days where education was super expensive, right? Now, like I mentioned, I was saying self-taught, but most of the stuff I found on the internet. Some people utilize internet for different things, but it's one powerful tool that, if given to you, you can utilize it to your for the best, right? So one of the platforms that I actually use the most now, and it's to me, I see it as an investment. So even if I was broke, as an example, whatever money that I would get, sort of like even $200, for instance, you can get a course for $200 on the platform like called Udemy, for instance. And there's a lot of content that is shared on YouTube as well. I mean, if you ask me, we also have like a user group where we're sharing content with so many people within the industry, some people who want to begin and so on. So
Mhm.
the that's how I would actually go about it, for instance. So if someone out there wants to start within these environments, they can join the user groups. There's communities out there that are essentially sharing beginner information. And like I mentioned, the platforms that are out there that are selling content for cheap, right? So just look at it as an investment to you, for instance. So if you get a $200, $300, just go to the platforms like Udemy and buy a course there and teach yourself. That's why I'm saying gone are those days where you had to pay super expensive money or super expensive courses at universities or even at colleges to essentially learn this type of technologies. And the other thing, just to add, because the environments are also fast paced, like technology is very fast in changing, for instance. Sometimes you find yourself that you're probably sitting in class, right? And new things are developing on the other side at the same time. So you probably when you utilize these online resources, it's way ahead, for instance.
Yeah. And I always preach this to parents who contact me about, yes, parents, you don't even need to wait until someone goes to university to access information, to learn these skills, to learn to gain access. Because, for instance, at Udemy, no one's going to ask you if you have matric or not, right? It's not accredited, of course. You are there accessing knowledge, but then if you want to be certified, of course, you need to register your exams with the vendor. Okay, guys, I always talk about this. I'm not going to mention it again, right? So, for instance, you write your exam with AWS or Microsoft or Google, sharp. But to access the information, to get skilled up, like right now in this house, I'm paying for Coursera, like Coursera Plus, because with Coursera Plus, I think I pay about 600 rands per month, and my daughter can access over 10,000 courses, right? So some people, I leave the link in the description box, guys. The links, whatever that you are talking about, I leave them in the description box. You can go to Udemy as well and buy a course for 200 and something, whatever that you want to access. And these platforms, they don't just have tech related content. Guys, don't forget to like and share this video and leave any questions you might have for Joshua. Joshua, tell me, you spoke about the group. Is it the same group that has TK?
That's correct. Yes,
okay.
That's correct.
Guys, TK. TK is our friend, right? He's been here a couple of times, and also he does come around to our private groups as well. He's been a visitor there. So I'll share the WhatsApp group. I have the link, but the last time I checked, your thing was full. It had more than 1,000 people.
Yes. So we as admins of that group, we went and updated the group itself to change it to a community. So it was just a normal WhatsApp group where people were joining, and like you said, the WhatsApp group was full. We went and changed that and created communities inside there. So we tried to divide it. So we have Azure, we've got AWS, and we also got DevOps, for instance. So we got different subgroups within those communities. So anyone can join any of those groups.
And the last time I checked, it was free, right? Is it still free?
Yes. Yeah. No one is selling anything there. So every content that we share there is free. Like I said, we want to make this as easy as possible for anyone who wants to jump onto the IT industry, or from a cloud perspective or DevOps perspective. So everything is free there. If someone is selling something to you, that is wrong. For instance, like we mentioned, coming into the industry is almost next to free these nowadays.
Okay, because that's what I wanted to double check, if this community is free. Okay, fantastic. What are your thoughts on AI? I can't let you go without asking you about AI. But okay, Joshua, I want to phrase it this way. How can cloud engineers benefit from AI? Because let's not scare people. How can it benefit from, how can cloud engineers benefit from AI?
There's a saying that goes, that says, AI will replace developers. Potentially, that might be true, right? As we grow into this AI or new journey around AI, for instance. But there's also a saying that goes, people AI will replace people who doesn't know AI, for instance, right? But people who knows AI might not be replaced, for instance. So hence, even with the these a lot of these companies, they want to build together with people. You find they want to fail together with people. What they mentioned, one of the CEOs of one of the AI companies mentioned to say, we don't want to bring this thing to people as a surprise, for instance. We want it to grow together with people so that people won't be surprised at the end of the day when this thing is super intelligent, for example, right? So we don't run away from AI, and we just embrace it, right? We don't scare people. We also embrace it, and we also learn together with it. For instance, as some of the companies that I've been working with, so what they do, they actually encourage doing that. So maybe when you come to an interview, they will encourage to say, no, don't use AI. But when you work within the company, they will always encourage utilize AI, because remember, this thing is a tool that help you to advance or increase your productivity, for instance. So they don't discourage from using that, because you will see with most big companies, they're essentially racing towards super intelligence and those kind of things. They call it AGI and those type of things.
Yeah, so it helps you with efficiency. Share one mistake that you see with young ones, the beginners, that you see all the time. A common mistake that you see. Is there one?
Yeah, so I mean, the one that I see the most is I don't want to call them. I don't want to call newcomers as people who are ignorant, right? But I can put it in that way, that they are being ignorant, right? Because, like I mentioned, back then it was experience required. Nowadays, it's no more like that. It's potential, right? They want to know, like we're mentioning now. We're talking about certificates. Certificates are giving companies an idea that says this guy is willing to learn. You understand? Because they've seen you. If you passed the certificate 3 months ago, they can understand that this person is willing to learn new stuff. Because when we look at the environment, this technological environment on our side, around the world, is changing frequently. So they want people who are willing to learn new stuff, right? Because what I knew 5 years ago, I'm probably not even using it now. Or what I learned 5 years ago, I'm not using it now. It's what I learned probably 6 months ago or even a year ago, for instance. So what a lot of people are doing, are putting, newcomers are doing out there, is they think that we're still in that era where companies require experience. Yes, they still do require experience, but most of the time they hire for potential. They see, if you, let's say for instance, you are in this IT industry, you want to jump into this IT industry. There's tools out there that you can leverage and build your own projects, build your own portfolio, and that's what you present out there. You understand? That's potential. If you're not doing that, then you are in a wrong. You want to come into a wrong industry, for instance.
You're making a lot of sense. You are making a lot of sense. Back now to these two companies that we're not going to mention, but guys, I always talk about these companies. They pay well. How do you land jobs? What the other one is a bank, right? I can't believe
Yes.
you left a
Yes.
bank. Like, I can't believe you left a bank with all the benefits. You left the bank with all the benefits.
Yes. I left the bank. Yes.
Why?
I mean, they say opportunities comes once in life, right? So every opportunity that you get, you just seize the moment, and it's all about risks, right? So if you are willing to take big risks, then you obviously will gain high. I know sometimes if you take big risks, the bigger the risk, the bigger the opportunity as well, right? So, so that's how I actually analyze things, right? So, with all that I've done, it's more the mentality of taking risks in my life. So if I don't take risks, then if I didn't take risks, then I wouldn't be here, as we speak now.
Who leaves the blue bank, guys? Who leaves the blue bank? Anyway, let's leave it there. It means the money is good. Guys, just think about it. If you can leave the blue bank, it means wherever you're going, the money is good. Joshua, thank you so much for your time. Guys, I'm going to leave the links in the description box. Joshua, please resend me the link to your group. You know, the group with WTK, right? Just resend it to me. Any last words for us as we are wrapping this up?
I mean, yeah, last words for everyone. Yeah, so from me is take initiatives, guys. That's what that's what's blocking your opportunities or blocking you from being successful, and be able tell yourself that you're gonna take risks and invest in yourself. Like I mentioned earlier on, gone are those days where we used to pay big bucks for education. So now you can go jump on internet, YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, those type of platforms, and take it as if you are investing in your own self. So, and what is nice about these platforms is when you invest, when you buy these courses, as an example, let's say, for example, on Udemy, you're buying the course for lifetime, for instance. So you can even share the account with someone else if they don't have, or you can put money together and buy a subscription, for instance, and pay it on a monthly basis and utilize that to educate yourself. And yeah, those are the few words I can share with you. So keep on learning, keep on pushing. You can do it. If I was able to do it, you can also do it.
Thank you, Joshua. Bye.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you found value. Please like and share the video. Of course, subscribe if you love content like this. It's absolutely free to press that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And check out our playlist. I do this every other month. Okay, this one is running between October and November. After this one, we're gonna have another one in January because we're taking a break in December. But in December, we're gonna have just our payslip, salaries, and other education and career content. For now, see you on the next one. Bye.